Calling the 1 p.m. calendar for the Committee on Health and Human Services. This meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. In the unlikely event that we have to abruptly end this meeting during hearing due to technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business on Wednesday, March 5th, 1 p.m. in room 225. The audio will be muted for those on Zoom and video disabled until shortly before it is your turn to testify. Each testifier will have 1 minute to testify. If there's a technical glitch during your time to testify, we may have to move on to the next person due to time constraints. On GM 548, there is a mistake in the title. It should read Emergency Medical Services Advisory Committee and not Emergency Medical Services Advisory Board. I will be reading a list of individuals who submitted written testimony for each measure. We apologize if the closed caption does not accurately transcribe the names. If you're interested in reviewing the written testimony, please go to the legislator's website. You will find a link on the status page for the measure. We appreciate your understanding and remind you that the committee does have your testimony. I reviewed them, so I encourage you to use your time to either add additional comments or you can stand on your written testimony. So first up, we have Melanie Lau, GM 522, for consideration for the Fuel Tank Advisory Committee for a term to expire June 30, 2028. First up, we have Melanie Lau. Are you present, Melanie? Melanie? Oh, okay, well, let's go on and find out what, but she did submit answers to written questions. We have Ernest Lau in support for the Board of Water Supply. Please proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. We stand in our testimony strong support of Dr. Lau. She has represented her community on the Red Hill issues since 2019. So we appreciate your favorable consideration of her nomination.
Thank you very much. Melody Oduha, Environmental Caucus of Democratic Party of Hawaii in support. Lima DeCosta, Red Hill CRI in support. Wayne Chun Tanaka, Sierra Club of Hawaii in support. Janice Shiira in support. Patrice Choi in support. Nanea Low in support. Cynthia Godo in support. William Reese Liggett in support. Linda Nishihara in support. Ashley Nishihara in support. Meredith Wilson in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on GM 522? Members, any questions? I would like to point out that Melanie Lau, Dr. Lau, has given answers to our questions, which is posted in the legislative website, and it looks like she is very qualified to continue on with her with her advisory capacity for the Fuel Tank Advisory Committee. Moving on, next up, GM 523, Asiana Zaragoza Torres for a term to expire June 30, 2028. State Council on Mental Health. First up, Asiana Zaragoza Torres. Are you present, Asiana?
Present.
Oh, please proceed.
Aloha, my name is Asiana Zaragoza Torres, and I am currently trying to be on the State Council on Mental Health. I was able to submit my testimony and fill out the questionnaire to you guys if you do have access to that. If you do have any questions, I would be willing to answer it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Department of Health, Behavioral Health Administration in support. Are you present for Department of Health?
In support of this, so thank you for your.
Thank you. Next up, we have Vandal Hack in support. Kumi McDonald in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on GM 523? And Asiana, we do have your answers, and thank you so much for giving us insight into your into the reason why you want to be confirmed. Okay, moving on. And members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, and I do have Vice Chair Aquino with me present. GM 525, Cy O'Brien, Medical Services Advisory Committee for term to expire June 30, 2028. Cy O'Brien, are you present?
Yes, ma'am. Cy O'Brien, present.
Okay, please proceed.
Cy O'Brien, I am the EMS cadre lead and medical trainer for Kauai Fire Department. I've submitted my questionnaire, and if there are questions, please feel free to ask.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Department of Health in support.
We are in support and we stand by our testimony.
Thank you very much. Elizabeth Char in support. Marilyn Matsunaga, I saw her present in support.
My testimony in support.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else wishing to testify in GM 525? Members, any questions? Seeing none, moving on. GM 526, Jacob Pekello, for Emergency Medical Services Advisory Committee for term to expire June 30, 2028. Mr. Paleko, are you present? Okay, thank you. You want to come up and address us? Please. Please identify yourself for the record.
All right, thank you, Chair, for having me. Jacob Picello with the Honolulu Fire Department, 23 years of experience. I'm currently the medical program manager for the Honolulu Fire Department. On paper, that sounds like I should have a whole list of qualifications, and I have a short list of qualifications. The reason I want to be on this committee is because I definitely think it helps our patient if all the players are heard at the table. So just trying to make sure that HFD has a voice in terms of patient care.
Thank you very much. Okay, next up, we have Department of Health and Support. You can go back. Thank you.
We're supported and we stand by our testimony. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth Char in support. Marilyn Matsunaga in support.
In support.
Thank you very much. Anybody else wishing to testify on GM 526? Members, any questions? Seeing none, and yes, we do have your answers, and thank you so much for giving it to us. We have reviewed them, thank you. GM 540, Patrick Loeffler, Emergency Medical Services Advisory Committee for a term to expire June 30, 2028. Patrick Winfield Loeffler, are you present? Okay, Department of Health and Support,
Yes, Chair, we are in support and we stand by our testimony. Thank you.
Elizabeth Char in support. Marilyn Matsunaga in support.
Spanish in support.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, anybody else wishing to testify on GM 540? Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on. GM 541, Emergency Medical Services Advisory Committee, Dr. Ann Young, for term to expire June 30, 2026. Dr. Ann Young is not present today as she is out of the country. And we have Department of Health in support, but she has provided her answers to the questionnaire. So are you still in support?
Oh, yes, we're in support and as we included in our testimony, she'll be here today.
Yes, thank you very much. Marilyn Matsunaga in support?
Stand in support.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else wishing to testify in GM 541? Members, any questions? Seeing none, moving on. GM 548, Marin Anka, Emergency Medical Services Advisory Committee. Marin Anka also provided answers to the questionnaires we provided to her. Marin Anka, you present? Okay, moving on. Department of Health, are you in support?
Yes, and she won't be attending because she has a job responsibilities, but we are in support. We stand by our testimony.
Thank you very much. Elizabeth Char in support. Marilyn Matsunaga in support?
In support.
Thank you very much. Anybody else wishing to testify in GM 548? Seeing none, members, any questions? Moving on. GM 572, Roxanne Rowe, Health Planning Council, Hawaii County. Roxanne Rowe, are you present?
Yes, I'm present.
Okay, please proceed.
I've been nominated to the Hawaii County Sub-Area Planning Health Council. I have 35 years in nursing and 20 of those as an advanced practice registered nurse. And I live on the island of Hawaii.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Dr. Lewin Shipta in support. Okay, come on up.
Thank you, Chair and Vice Chair. Jack Lewin, Administrator Shipka, and Terry just expressed that our coordinating planner. Terry knows Roxanne personally, so I thought he would give our testimony.
Yeah, Roxanne has been a
Please.
colleague for a while. Good morning.
Okay, please state your full name.
Thank you. I'm Terry Vesperis, and Comprehensive Health Planning Coordinator for SHPTA. And Roxanne has been a colleague of mine for a while, a very long relationship, and she serves well in the county of Hawaii, also serving for the federal government as an advanced practice nurse. She's very capable, very experienced, and really gives back a lot to the community. I would highly recommend her being a part of the Hawaii County Sub-Area Health Planning Council.
Thank you very much. Anybody else wishing to testify on GM 572? Members, any questions? So Ms. Rowe, I notice you haven't provided answers to the questionnaire we've sent to you, and we've reminded you a couple of times. Is there
I
a
had
reason?
submitted all of those questions to Mr. Vesperis by email, I believe in October or November.
Okay, Mr. Vesperis, why haven't you provided us with her answers to the questionnaire?
My apologies, Chair. I will follow up immediately after this.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions? So you know what, really shortly, since we don't know anything about you, since we don't have the answers to your questionnaire, we're gonna ask you the questions in the questionnaire.
Go ahead.
Why do
Thank
you want to volunteer?
I feel that living in rural Hawaii gives me a firsthand experience to provide input to the council. I provide home-based primary care services in the area. At one time, I was covering for the entire island, so I know the island very well, but mainly I work and live on the East Hawaii, and I feel like I have a positive impact on our patients here, and I feel like I could have good input into the council.
Okay, why do you believe what is your role and responsibility as a member of the Health Planning Council of Hawaii County?
As an advanced practice registered nurse, I have a medical background, so I feel like I can provide some positive input into any kind of medical needs the community has, and to have input that way into the council.
Okay, thank you. Given your understanding of the roles and responsibility as a member of the Health Planning Council, why do you believe you're qualified for this position?
I have, as I stated, numerous years of nursing and medical training, and so I feel like I can provide a professional impact into the council as it relates to healthcare planning.
Okay.
And my experience of working and living in this community, and the issues that arise from working in a very highly rural area.
Okay. What do you wish to accomplish by being a member of the council?
I wish to represent my community well, and reporting what our needs are as far as our medical needs of our community. And my expertise is in geriatrics, and so to speak on behalf of those folks who wouldn't possibly normally be heard.
Okay, and do you think that you know what, we are going to see the questionnaire, but we cannot make a decision because you did not provide us with an answer as to
Okay, my apologies.
Yeah, that's the reason why we followed up with you. We did not know that you sent it to someone else other than us. And the public has a right to know who are on.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, my apologies.
So okay, any other questions? Okay, moving on. GM 575, Emergency Medical Services Advisory Committee, Kenneth Faria, for a term to expire June 30, 2028. Kenneth Faria, are you present? Okay, Department of Health, in support? Please proceed.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair. My name is Andrew Yonemura. I'm with the Emergency Medical Service and Injury Prevention Branch for the Department of Health. We fully support and stand by all our testimonies, and unfortunately, Dr. Young, Dr. Loeffner, Ms. Anka, and Mr. Faria are unable to attend due to work commitments. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Kamakana Kaimuloa, UPW, in support.
Chair, UPW said those three testimonies responsible.
Thank you very much. Elizabeth Char in support, Kaya Smith in support, Kevin Archuleta in support, Carla Archuleta in support, Natasha He in support, and Marilyn Matsunaga in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on GM 575? Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on. GM 577, Tiana Sellis Webster.
576, Senator.
Oh, 576, excuse me, thank you. GM 576, Jessica Stevens, Mental Health and Substance Abuse, for a term to expire June 30, 2028. Jessica Stevens, are you present?
Yes, I am.
Okay, please proceed.
Good afternoon. My name is Jessica Stevens. I am a registered nurse, and I am seeking membership with the Mental Health and Substance Abuse Hawaii Service Area Board. I have submitted testimony, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Hawaii State Department of Health and Support. Thank you. Anybody else wishing to testify in GM 576? Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on. GM 577, Tiana Sellis Webster, State Council on Mental Health, term expired June 30, 2028. Tiana Sellis Webster, are you present?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
please
present.
proceed.
Aloha, my name is Tiana Sellis Webster. I am interested in being on the State Council on Mental Health because it aligns with my passion for advocacy. As someone who I have my own lived experience, I understand the challenges that many people face, and I want to be the voice for those who feel unheard, especially youth and underserved communities. I have submitted my questionnaire, and if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Hawaii Department of Health in support. Thank you. Judith Clark, Hawaii Youth Services Network in support. Anybody else wishing to testify in GM 577? Seeing none, members, any questions? Okay, moving on. GM 579, Lewis Johnson for PABEA, Policy Advisory Board for Elder Affairs, for term to expire June 30, 2028. Lewis Johnson, are you present? Lewis Johnson? Okay, members, Lewis Johnson has provided us with answers to the questionnaire, and it's also posted on the website. Carolyn Kadirao, Office of Aging and Support. Carolyn?
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair. Thank you. I'm Christina Valenzuela. I'm with the Executive Office on Aging. I'm testifying on behalf of Caroline Kadirao. Caroline isn't able to be here today. EOA has had the opportunity to get to know Ms. Johnson through our Hawaii Senior Medicare Patrol Program, also known as Hawaii SMP. And SMP is a volunteer-based program that provides information on how to detect, prevent, and report Medicare fraud, abuse, and waste. Ms. Johnson's been an active and very dedicated SMP volunteer since June 2021. And the program has really gained from her effective leadership, critical thinking skills, and great communication skills. With her extensive experience and skills, EOA feels that will benefit from her guidance and insight. And for these reasons, we're in strong support of her nomination. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gary Simon, I see you here. Hawaii Family Caregiver Coalition in support. Testimony. Okay, Beverly Gottele, also in support. Anybody else wishing to testify in GM 579? Members, any questions? Okay, moving on. GM 629, Mariah Nichols, State Rehabilitation Council, term to expire June 30, 2027. Mariah Nichols. Mariah, are you present? Please proceed. You need to unmute yourself, Mariah.
I thought I did.
Okay, now you are. Please proceed. We can hear you now.
Okay. Yes, I'm present.
Okay, would you like to say something on your behalf on your nomination? You've answered your question, so you can just stand on it. Would you like to stand on your answers? Thank you. I'm assuming you want to stand on your answers, or do you want to add?
No, I just want to stand on my answers.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next we have Ryan Yamani, Director, Department of Human Services and Support. DHS, are you present on Zoom?
Yes, good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair. Leah Diaz, VR Administrator on behalf of DHS Director Ryan Yamane, here to stand on our written testimony in strong support of Mariah Nichols. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, anybody else wishing to testify on GM 629, Mariah Nichols? Okay, I have one short question, Mariah Nichols. I noticed that on your questionnaire, you are a mental health therapist, blogger, and social media influencer. So how is that going, and how does that help you with the State Rehabilitation Council? What kind of perspective as a blogger?
In a multitude of ways. I mean, with the SRC, one of the issues is in membership and in outreach and connecting with community. And because of my blogging and my social media piece, I have a very clear, strong, and experienced ways of helping with that. With mental health therapy, just knowing a lot of what is going on in the community and issues that affect people with disabilities here on Hawai'i Island.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions, members? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on. Okay, GM 630, Evan Nakatsuka, State Rehabilitation Council for a term to expire June 30, 27. Evan Nakatsuka. Okay, please proceed. Identify yourself.
Good afternoon, Chair and Vice Chair. My name is Evan Nakatsuka. Thank you for considering my nomination to the State Rehabilitation Council. I will stand on my written testimony.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Director Yamane, DHS in support. Are you present? DHS, please proceed.
Yes, hello, Chair, Vice Chair. This is Leah Diaz, DVR Administrator, here on behalf of the DHS Director Ryan Yamane. Will stand on our written testimony in strong support of Evan Nakatsuka. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have somebody named Michael also in support. Members, any questions of Evan Nakatsuka? Okay, I just have one comment. I noticed in your answers to your questionnaire, naming 3 qualities, you're the only one who admitted imperfection, and which is perfect to me for State Rehabilitation Council. So thank you for your humility and your willingness to serve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have GM 631, Koa Woolley, Board Directors, Hawaii Health Systems Corporation, term to expire June 30, 2028. Koa Woolley, are you present? Okay, come on up.
Thank you, Chair, Co-Chair, and Committee. My name is Koa Woolley, and I stand by my questionnaire, my responses, but I'd also like to add that I'm a Ka'u girl who grew up between Ka'u and Kona. I am very familiar with the challenges that our rural health systems have, as well as seeing it across the state. And I look forward to hoping to lend my expertise.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Edward Chu, Hawaii Health Systems Corporation in support. Derek Akiyoshi, Oahu Region, HHC in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on GM 631? Members, any questions? Okay, so thank you very much. I see that you are also involved as a banker for First Hawaiian Bank for 22 years. So that kind of fiscal responsibility, especially with Hawaii Health Systems Corporation, is probably much needed. And I see Edward Chu and Malia there nodding their heads in support.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, anybody else with questions? Nope, moving on. GM 633, Susie Schulberg for PABEA, Policy Advisory Board of Elderly Affairs, term to expire June 30, 2028. Susie Schulberg, are you present? Susie? Susie, are you present on Zoom? Okay, next we have Carolyn Kadirao, Executive Office of Aging and Support, Gary Simon, Hawaii Family Caregiver Coalition and Support, Derek Akiyoshi, Oahu Region of HHC and Support, Beverly Gottlieb, also in support. And members, I'd also like to point out that Susie Schulberg had also provided us with her answers to the questionnaire, and as well as we also have her resume. Any questions? Seeing none, are we ready for decision making? We have quorum. So first up, for GM 522, Melanie Lau, Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, Governor's message 522. Recommendation is to advise and consent. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Senator Hashimoto is excused. Senator Keokolole.
Aye.
Senator Favela is excused. Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
For GM 523, Asiana Zaragoza Torres, Chair's recommendation is to also advise and consent. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, Governor's message 523. Recommendation of the Chair is to advise and consent. 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
Thank you very much. For GM 525, Cy O'Brien, Chair's recommendation is to also advise and consent. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted.
Okay, for GM 526, Jacob Pakello, Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
Okay, for GM 540, Patrick Loeffler. Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
For GM 541, Dr. Ann Young, Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted.
For GM 548, Maren Anka, Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted.
GM 572, Chair's recommendation is to defer decision-making to March 5th, 1 p.m., pending answers to the questionnaire provided to her. So for GM 575, Kenneth Faria Jr., Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
For GM 576, Jessica Stevens, Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
For GM 577, Tiana Celis Webster, Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
So GM 579 for Louis Johnson, Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted.
Thank you very much. For GM 629, Mariah Nichols, Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
Okay, for GM 630, Evan Nakatsuka, Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, 4 members are present. Any reservations? Any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
For For GM 631, Koa Woolley, Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
If 4 members are present, any reservations, any noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
For GM 633, Susie Schulberg, Chair's recommendation is to advise and consent. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
If 4 members are present, any reservations or noes? Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
Thank you. And with that, we are adjourned. And to the nominees, we congratulate you. And please stick around. Let's do a group photo. Okay, thank you. We are adjourned.